When the smoke from the fire hit Gretel's face, she woke with a start. Hansel wasn't by her side anymore. In the distance, she heard his voice calling out, "Gretel, help me." Gasping for breath, Gretel ran toward her brother. There he was, lying on the ground with sharp thorns piercing his body. Thorns? Gretel knelt beside her brother and pulled at the thorns. Suddenly, a white rabbit wearing a little red had hopped away. Gretel chased after the rabbit, ignoring the pain in her hands. She caught up to the rabbit, grabbed its hood and demanded an explanation. "Why did you harm my brother?" The rabbit pointed its paw at the forest and said, "Go there, little girl, and you will find the one who can help your brother." When Gretel arrived at the place indicated by the rabbit, she saw a small cottage built from tree roots. But what really caught her eye was the sign above the door. It read, "Beware of dog." Just as Gretel was about to turn back, a large dog emerged from the cottage, growling fiercely. But when he saw Gretel, his demeanor softened and he licked her hand. His friendly gesture surprised her. Gretel walked into the cottage and found a table piled high with food, including a golden apple. Suddenly, a deep voice boomed, "Who ate my food without asking?" From behind the table came an old woman with a gnarled staff. She took a bite of the golden apple, and as she did, her eyes closed slowly. "You needn't be afraid, child," she said. "Eat the golden apple so that we may see each other again." Gretel hesitated at first, but then she ate the apple. She fell into a deep sleep. The old woman waved her staff over Gretel and suddenly the room began to spin. They were no longer in the cottage. Instead, they stood in the middle of a field surrounded by tall oak trees. "Here, drink this," the old woman said, handing Gretel a small vial filled with shimmering liquid. "This potion will bring us home." With the bottle in her hand, Gretel felt a surge of strength and hope. She thanked the woman and started her journey back to the woodcutter's house. But when she turned to thank the woman, she realized she had vanished. The old woman had disappeared. Gretel wandered through the forest until she finally spotted a familiar rock and hurried toward it. To her surprise, she found her brother Hansel waiting for her. He was pale, but conscious. Relieved, Gretel hugged her brother tightly. Then they raced home together. But when they arrived, they found the house empty. Their father and stepmother were gone. Suddenly, a key fell from the pocket of Hansel's shirt. He remembered seeing the stepmother clutching a bunch of keys just before they went into the woods. Gretel put the key in the door and they stepped inside. The room was dark and dank, but in the corner, Gretel saw a bed covered with a patchwork quilt. As they walked closer, the quilt moved slightly. They called out, "Hello," and a tiny voice replied, "Come here." Gretel and Hansel approached the bed and saw two men with beards down to their feet and pointed ears. "Are you our father?" Hansel asked cautiously. "Yes, children," the man replied, his voice cracking. "But who are you?" Gretel asked. "These silly spells have held us captive in this form for 10 years. Only a kiss from someone who truly loves us can break the spell." Gretel and Hansel looked at each other and leaned in to kiss their fathers. Instantly, the men grew larger, shaking off their dwarf forms. The fathers embraced their children, tears streaming down their faces. The stepmother hadn't meant to harm them. She was simply lonely. After all, she was still young and beautiful, even if she was a witch. They all lived happily ever after, sharing their love and kindness with everyone.